How y'all doing? It's your boy Glenn, the God Chaser, and welcome to another segment of Live Life Strong, Trust in God. And today's topic is that we need to show more love and compassion in the world. Many of you might say, man, how am I do that? I can't do that. I done already tried. The streets is dangerous, the world is treacherous, and ain't no love out here. I done heard that myself, but that doesn't mean anything. Just because you haven't ran into people that have no love or even show love doesn't mean that you can't be the example. And I get it. Many of you don't want to be hurt because you've already been hurt. Many of you don't want to trust because you've already trust. Many of you already showed love and didn't get it in return like you expected. And many of you probably showed compassion and it got used. But I'm here encouraged to tell you that doesn't matter. And I have three key points that I hope is going to encourage you and change the way you think about this. And the definition of compassion is to be sympathetic or show pity or have concern for suffering or misfortune. Now, we've all been through that in our life. So I'm pretty sure that you got a little bit more love in you and you have some compassion in your heart. Just because other people might have misused it doesn't mean anything. And I'm going to start with my first key point, which is you got to be vulnerable. You got to be vulnerable enough to let them walls down, let your guard down, and realize that you might get hurt out here, even if your intentions are good. Because people are people, and that's how God looks at us. No matter what people do, God still cherishes each and every one of us, no matter what we do and how we act out here. God still gives us grace. But I'm here encouraging to tell you, you got to be vulnerable. You got to be able to open up and relate to people, no matter what the situation is, no matter what you've been through. You got to be vulnerable. You want to be relatable. You want to be able to open yourself up that way you can have conversations with people and it might allow them to open up to you and share their experiences, their trauma, and certain things they've been through. Like I said, being vulnerable is not always a bad thing. It could be a good thing. And I get it. Many times or sometimes people will use you. People will hurt you because you show vulnerability. Those are wrong people that you can't show love to. But there are some people that you can be vulnerable to. There are some people that you might need to be vulnerable to show them that, hey, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to let your guard down. It's okay to open up. Because once you begin to let them walls down and open and express yourself to the right people, it makes you feel better. It makes you grasp an understanding of another individual and even yourself. You never know what the next person might be going through. So you showing a little bit of vulnerability may help them to be vulnerable and able to express themselves and open up and let their guard down and ultimately build a better relationship with people in their lives. So be vulnerable. And the second key point is forgiveness. Hey, yo, some people struggle with forgiveness. And then we've all been to that point where we felt like, man, I could never forgive this person for what they've done to me. But I'm here encouraging to tell you, like I just said, God loves everyone. God forgives us. And it says in the Bible, forgive your brother or sister, and God forgives you. Keep that in mind, Joe. No one's perfect in this world, and we all make mistakes. Like I previously stated, we all grew up differently. We all had different type of experiences in life that might cause us to might harm someone. And you yourself may have been a villain in someone else's story. Like I said, no one is perfect. And I'm pretty sure you probably hurt someone, and they probably had to forgive you. And you yourself probably have been hurt by someone. But that doesn't mean that you don't forgive people. Because you know why? It can cause resentment, it can cause bitterness, and that stuff can make you sick. That stuff can mess with your mind. That stuff can cause trust issues for new relationships and new covenants that you might try to build with people. You don't want to carry that stuff in your heart. Like I said, it can make you sick. You want to forgive people and give them grace. I get it. Man, it's not easy to forgive someone that really hurt you. But it not only helps that person, but it helps you. It helps you become a better person. It helps you to realize to grant grace. It helps you to clear your heart. It changes your heart posture when you begin to forgive people because that person might not even know that they even hurt you. That person might have forgot about it and went along with their life while you still walking around not forgiving people. So how you gonna show love and compassion if you can't even forgive? Like I just said, many of us have either hurt someone before and are looking for forgiveness or have been hurt, but that doesn't mean that you don't forgive. You want to let those things go, let the past in the past. Feel me? Move forward and learn how to have forgiveness. That way you can show love and compassion. And my last one is self-love. Look, man, if you can't love yourself or love God, how you gonna love anyone else? I learned to love God first and then love myself. And by loving God, I ultimately learned how to love myself. Man, you got to give yourself some grace, some mercy, and show some compassion to yourself. That way you can extend that. Love is an action word, man. And many of us probably weren't taught that. But I'm going to encourage you and tell you, love yourself first. That way you can know how to build yourself up, how to treat yourself. That way you know how to treat other people. And I want to leave you guys with this Bible verse, which is Matthew 22, verses 37 to 40. Love the Lord thy God with all your heart and with all your soul. And that's the first commandment. And the second one after that is love thy neighbor as you love thyself. Like I just stated, man, it's hard to sometimes show a little bit of love and compassion in the world, but we need that. Be that example, man. Be vulnerable, show forgiveness, and have some self love. And love God. He's going to direct your path.